Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be solving the equation 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4 to the power of x is equal to 512. So I'm going to be solving this equation, and I know at first glance it may look a little complicated just because of the amount of exponents in it, but it's actually not as hard as it looks. So to start, the variable I'm going to be solving for is x because that's the only variable. And now for my solution. What I'm first going to do is rewrite 512 as 16 times 32. And now, the reason I did this is because 16 and 32, these are both powers of 2. 16 is equal to 2 to the power of 4, and 32 is double of 16, so it's going to equal 2 to the power of 5. And now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So 2 to the power of 4 times 2 to the power of 5, that's going to equal 2 to the power of 4 plus 5, and 4 plus 5 is equal to 9, so it's going to be 2 to the power of 9. So now the reason I did all of this is because now both sides are of powers of 2. The bases are both 2, so now this is much easier to solve because if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, then this means that m is equal to n. So in this case, we can think of m as 3 to the power of 4 to the power of x, and n as 9. So now if I cancel these two bases out, I get 3 to the power of 4 to the power of x is equal to 9. Now, 9, I can rewrite that as 3 to the power of 2. Because, again, I want to make the bases the same. So now I get 3 to the power of 4 to the power of x is equal to 3 to the power of 2. And now I can, again, use the property that states that a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n to cancel these two bases out. And now I'm left with 4 to the power of x is equal to 2. Now I can solve this in two different ways. I can either rewrite 4 as a base of 2 or 2 as a base of 4. So the first way is 4 is the same thing as 2 squared, so I get 2 squared to the power of x is equal to 2. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 2 to the power of x is going to equal 2 to the power of 2 times x, which is equal to 2 to the power of 2x. So I get 2 to the power of 2x is equal to 2, and if you guys already didn't know, 2 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 1. So I get 2 to the power of 2x is equal to 2 to the power of 1, and now I can cancel these two out, so I get 2x is equal to 1, and now if I divide both sides by 2, I get x is equal to 1/2. Now the second way of doing it from that step, 4 to the power of x is equal to 2, what I can do is rewrite 2 as the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 is the same thing as 4 to the power of 1/2. Now, these two cancel out, so I get x is equal to 1 over 2. So that's the second way. So now from here, I'm going to check to see if my solution is true. So my equation is 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4 to the power of x is equal to 512. Now, x is 1/2, so I get 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 1/2 is equal to 512. Now, from here, I'm going to work my way from the top to the bottom. So let's first start with 4 to the power of 1/2. 4 to the power of 1/2 is the same thing as the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 is equal to 2. So I get 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 512. Now, from here, I have 3 to the power of 2. And 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 9. So now I get 2 to the power of 9 is equal to 512. Now, 2 to the power of 9, to solve this, what I'm going to do is 2 to the power of 9 is equal to 2 times 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 2. So 2 multiplied by itself 9 times. And this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 is 8, so I get 8 times 8 times 8, which is equal to 64 times 8. And 64 times 8 is equal to 512. So I get 512 is equal to 512, and this is right, so my solution is right.